Life is nothing if not a daily struggle to become a better version of yourself as a man. But amidst this, do you often find yourself struggling to control your emotions? If so, there's no reason to beat yourself up for it. A man's journey is not without severe challenges and complications. But this video will be one that you'll use to finally master your emotions. As men, we are born with pre-existing challenges in life that often cast a huge shadow on us, hindering us from taking control over difficult situations and feeling positive about challenges coming our way. Being unsure of your future and feeling weak or helpless is often very disappointing. For this reason, we have to take control of not only our situation, but also our emotions. The urge to feel and do better in life is nothing but natural for a man. So how do we achieve all this? How do men take charge of their unsettling emotions? The answer is Stoicism. Stoicism is an ancient Greek school of philosophy that teaches the highest form of virtue based on knowledge and wisdom. Stoics believe that overcoming negative emotions and becoming mentally strong can be done by developing and mastering self-control. Pay attention and instill the following tips in your mind so you rise as a formidable opponent in life. Let's begin. Believe in the dichotomy of control. The dichotomy of control is a Stoic practice that emphasizes an important fact. Some things are within our control and others are not. It provides us with a sense to be more effective at solving our problems by dividing them into two simple parts: things that are in our control and things that we can do nothing to change. When we can't control every emotion we have, we stay stuck. People stuck in this dilemma mostly complain, cry, and create a mentality of victimhood. It's not a healthy place to be in. The dichotomy of control can help us move our perspective in two crucial ways. When we can determine what is out of our control, we no longer try to waste our time and energy trying to change it. We start to see it for what it is, accept it, and move on to what we can control other than that. When we can determine what is within our control, our beliefs, values, and actions, we can better focus our time and energy on taking action in these things and moving forward. This makes us much more efficient and effective in our lives. Redirect your emotions. Stoicism is not about suppressing or hiding emotion. Rather, it is about acknowledging our emotions, reflecting on what causes them, and redirecting them for our good. The following mindset is a very useful one. Instead of losing yourself in the emotions and having them affect your feelings, focus on understanding what's causing them before they take complete control of your feelings. That's the way of the Stoics. Feeling scared, nervous, annoyed. This is a big part of what it means to be a human. The idea is that we use our wisdom to accept these natural feelings and impulses and then gently point out to ourselves that we don't have to let them consume our view of the world, conquer our thoughts, or govern our actions. It's perfectly fine to be disturbed by things now and then. That's nothing but natural. It becomes a problem if we routinely let our annoyances pile up into uncontrollable rage. You're the dictator of how your life unfolds. Be mindful of this. Accept sacrifice. Life is a theater. We all play different roles, and sometimes the roles we play may require selfless sacrifice. This analogy includes imagining yourself as a foot that has to step into the mud for the entire body to cross the street. If you just think of yourself as a foot, this is unpleasant. But if you remind yourself that what you're doing is for a greater benefit in helping the whole organism, then it makes more sense. It might mean immediate and unpleasant sacrifice, but it's the right thing to do in the long term for yourself and everybody else connected to that organism, in this case, your colleagues or employees. Self-sacrifice and the acceptance of sacrifice enable us to overcome emotional disarrays of life. We can better understand the circumstances of others, and this makes us think less victimly of ourselves, giving us control over defeating emotions and feelings that try to consume us. The virtuous person is not passionless in the sense of being unfeeling like a statue. Rather, he mindfully distinguishes what makes a difference to his happiness, virtue, and vice from what does not. This firm and consistent understanding keeps the ups and downs of his life from spinning into the psychic disturbances of life. The next time you need to sacrifice something for yourself, especially your feelings, go for it. You'll thank yourself later. Mental distancing. Detachment in Stoicism is a tool that helps to cultivate indifference towards external circumstances and focus instead on your internal responses. Stoics believe that while we are unable to control external events, we can control our reactions to them. This detachment from outcomes brings a sort of emotional stability and reduces distress greatly, as you can imagine. This old theory of detachment relates to modern psychological concepts such as cognitive restructuring and emotional regulation. By separating one's sense of worth from external events, individuals can maintain emotional balance regardless of circumstance, thus reducing vulnerability to stress and enhancing resilience. Practicing Stoic detachment involves reframing our perspective toward life's ups and downs. Rather than becoming absorbed in momentary successes or failures, detachment allows us to remain level-headed, viewing events as temporary and not defining our worth. Learn to remain indifferent to external circumstances, focusing instead on your internal responses. By detaching from outcomes, you can achieve emotional stability. Practice mindfulness. There is an element of mindfulness in Stoicism, which involves sustained attention to present moment experience. Stoic meditations include reflecting on one's inevitable death, known as memento mori, to put one's experiences and values in a proper perspective. Mindfulness acts as the shining light of awareness that can put your anxious heart at ease. No matter how much we want to be happy and productive in life, we can often start to behave in ways we don't welcome. We get into moods that hold for days, weeks, or even months. We get dragged around by fear, and our anger comes out unexpectedly in worsened situations. Misery turns up, acting like it owns our mind and body. Stoicism practically tells us that as past and future thinking brings trouble, the present moment is where we need to remain if we're to be balanced beings. If we stay present, then we can tune in, become more aware of our thinking, and remain grounded in reason. The goal of Stoicism is to attain inner peace by overcoming adversity, practicing self-control, being conscious of our impulses, and realizing our ephemeral nature in the short time allotted. These are all meditative practices that help us live with our nature and not against it. We're here for a limited time. Stay aware of that and reject emotions that make this time tougher than it needs to be. Virtue above everything. In a world full of fleeting joys, Stoicism directs our compass toward the most enduring fulfillment. Virtue. A core teaching of Stoic philosophy is to live with virtue. The Stoics believe that for human beings, virtue is the only good. Externals such as money, fame, reputation, or material things are neither good nor bad, they are simply indifferent. The Stoics believe that people who cannot act with virtue are being blindly pulled along by whatever desires they're feeling that day. Jealousy, greed, anger, lust, and addiction guide their actions, not choices, which is a terrible way of life. A true Stoic would be disgusted. Make sure to dive deep into understanding how genuine contentment isn't about momentary gains, but about nurturing our inner virtues. This then allows us to find happiness in hardship, contentment in adversity, and acceptance in loss. The development of virtue helps to cut the strings that drag along our emotions when we experience something difficult. Negative visualization. Ask yourself a question. If I was in an unknown premise and something required me to immediately leave the building, would I know exactly where to go in the heat of the moment? The answer is likely a no. But if you had already pictured such a scenario, things would be different. It might seem strange to ponder challenges, but Stoicism offers an advantageous twist. By visualizing potential hurdles, we can make a heart full of gratitude and a mind ready for life's hardships. Before you start questioning why one would keep any potential negative happenings in mind, you need to understand one thing. Unlike other ancient Stoic techniques with a virtuous purpose like writing in a journal and practicing voluntary hardship, negative visualization doesn't require the aspiring Stoic to be in a specific location at a specific time or to need any complicated apparatus. Negative visualization is instead geared towards making you less reactive to circumstances and more capable of functioning well regardless of time, location, and resources. Now, bear in mind that this is a technique that encourages us to spend a short amount of time imagining the negative events that could befall us. Take some time out of your day and imagine worst-case scenarios to appreciate what you have and to be prepared for potential setbacks. This stoic exercise will not only help cultivate resilience, but will also allow you to prepare and plan for the worst early on. It may seem somewhat pessimistic, but the result of this exercise is powerful. You can slowly develop a greater appreciation for the things in your life, make the most of the time you have with loved ones, and even get good plans in place for when things go wrong. Outro: strive to regulate your emotions so you can avoid extreme highs or lows. Emphasize your inner tranquility over the pursuit of temporary happiness or avoidance of sadness, for pushing the problems away does not mean they have ended. Which one of these tips have you used in life, if any? Make good use of them from now on and watch yourself conquer your emotions.